So I get a lot of parents that tell me, oh, my child's a visual learner. They need to see things visually. They're very strong visually. Well, I'm here to tell you that if they're a visual learner, their visual processing is probably a relative weakness. Or that child who needs to hear it, have the teacher talk about it, because that's how they learn material best. They're an auditory learner. Here to tell you that means their auditory processing, their relative weakness. And you know it seems counterintuitive because you think they're a visual learner, they must be strong visually. If they're a visual learner, they need to see it. It needs to be presented to them visually because their brain doesn't have the ability to visually envision what that information is. If you have an auditory learner, they don't have strong auditory processing. So unless somebody speaks it, they can't hear it virtually in their brain. So what does it mean if your child is a visual learner and that's the only way they learn? It indicates that there's a relatively pretty strong weakness in their cognitive abilities that indicates that the only way they can work around it is to actually replace it. So if you have a visual learner that's the only way they can learn, their visual processing is so weak that you actually have to replace their brain's ability to envision with putting it concretely in front of them. And yes, that does help them to learn it, but perhaps you might want to strengthen it so they don't have to depend upon that way of learning, because sometimes you're in a class where you don't have that ability to have the visual information or the auditory information. And it allows them to learn in a wide range of situations as opposed to only one way. So it usually is an indication that you have a cognitive weakness and you can work around it. You can also train it.